If you want to go from looking like this guy to looking like this guy, you're often left with two choices, either burn fat or build muscle. But what if you could do both? But that's obviously not possible. Or is it? Well, yeah, that's kind of the entire point of this video. This is called body recomposition. A lot of people hear this term and think it's not possible or that it only works for a select few. While it's true not everybody will be able to go through body recomposition, chances are a majority of you guys are capable of burning fat and building muscle at the same time. In fact, the process is a lot simpler than you think. Today, I'm going to show you everything you need to do in order to go through body recomposition. I'm going to show you how you can implement it into your own fitness journey and what results can we get from body recomposition realistically. To start things off, we need to figure out if body recomposition works for you. To figure that out, we need to understand how body recomposition works. And this process is actually a lot simpler to understand than you think. For body recomposition to work, A, we need to have excess fat for our body to use as fuel, and B, we need to have room on our body to build muscle. It's simply just your body using your fat as energy to build muscle. That's it. That's all it is. And the people who fall into this category are typically gym noobs, overweight individuals, who I guess you could qualify as gym noobs, and people who stopped training for a while, which technically means they downgraded to gym noobs. So this is good for gym noobs. Also, it works on individuals who do certain substances, but we're not going to talk about that this video. The only time recomp doesn't work is if you have been training for a really long time, you have sub 10% body fat, your body won't be able to tap into your fat stores as energy, and you already have optimal training and nutrition. In other words, you don't have enough fat to fuel for muscle, and you're pretty close to your genetic limit for how much muscle you can put on. Maybe you're not a complete gym noob, but you're also not a hyper advanced lifter either. But will body recomp still work for you? The short answer is yes, but likely not to the same degree as a gym noob. Regardless of where you fall on that spectrum, you still need to follow the basic steps in order to go through body recomposition correctly. For one, your body is not going to go through recomp if there's no need for it to go through recomp. I'll explain it using it's a pretty dumb analogy, but let me cook. Let's say you build a decent house, but you want to turn it into a nuclear bunker. You know, just for fun. You have the extra material to turn it into a bunker, but your wife tells you that there's no need to turn the house into a bunker. It's already a perfectly normal house. But then suddenly a big tornado comes by and completely destroys your house. Absolutely demolished. No more house for you. Not only now do you have a reason to build a new house, but you also have a reason to upgrade it to a bunker to tornado-proof it for the future. So what am I trying to say with my stupid freaking bunker analogy? I don't know if I should leave it in the video. I'll leave it in the vid. Simply put, you need to give your body a reason to put on muscle by stimulating it through exercise, which is why resistance training is crucial for body recomposition. Without resistance training, you aren't going to be building any new muscle, and as a result, you're not going to be able to use your fat as energy to build that muscle. For optimal growth, you want to aim to do 10 to 20 sets per week for each muscle group, and you also want to focus on doing compound movements, working multiple muscles at the same time. You also want to get proper sleep. I'm looking at the people who's watching this at 3 a.m. I see you.
I know where you live.
But that's just half of the equation for body recomposition. What about the other half? Burning the fat. Well, to figure that out, we need to put ourselves in one of two categories. Ask yourself this question. Are you happy with your current rate? Are you happy with your current weight right now? If you said yes, then obviously your main goal should be to stay the same weight while doing a body recomp. And if you're wondering if that's possible, it definitely is. When your body needs to grow more muscle due to resistance training, it needs to draw energy from somewhere, either from the food you eat or the fat already stored in your body. But if the food you eat is only enough to support the main bodily functions like moving, breathing, staying alive, then your body needs to draw that energy out from somewhere else. And that somewhere else is the fat stored on your body. So if you want to do a body recomp but stay at the same weight, you'll need to eat at maintenance, meaning you eat the same amount of calories as you burn. Since you aren't giving your body extra energy to put on muscle like what you would do in a bulk, it has no choice but to use the energy that you already have to build that muscle. And this is something that I did at the beginning of my fitness journey, and I'll tell you how it worked for me at the end of the video. But let's say you're in the other camp and you aren't happy with your current weight and you wish it was lower. Well, in that case, it's going to be the same principle as eating at maintenance, using your fat as fuel to build muscle, only this time we want to consume less calories in order to gradually reduce our weight down. Then it comes as no surprise, you need to be at a calorie deficit. It doesn't have to be so big that it's a full-on cut, but it needs to be just enough so you can steadily lose weight over time. I recommend going into a calorie deficit of 200 to 500 and no more than that. Regardless of which group you fall under, there's another crucial step that you need to follow, and if you don't, the entire thing kind of falls apart. See, when it comes to losing fat and building muscle at the same time, you want to make sure that you're preserving as much muscle as you can, especially on a calorie deficit. In fact, there's a study done looking at two groups of people. Both groups were in a calorie deficit, eating a fixed amount of calories per day, and they both did resistance training. However, one of these groups saw a 50% reduction in lean muscle mass, while the other saw a notable decrease in body fat and maintained most of their lean muscle mass. What do these two groups do differently? Well, the first group ate at the recommended daily amount of protein, which was about 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. The second group, however, the one who maintained more muscle mass, ate just about double the recommended daily amount, 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight, or 0.7 grams per pound. So if you want to burn fat while building as much muscle as you can, you'll have to prioritize protein in your diet. Not only is this going to help you maintain and build muscle, especially in a calorie deficit, but it's also going to help you feel more full, since protein is a lot more satiating and it's going to make managing your calories a whole lot easier. I recommend getting in at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 180 pounds, you should be eating 180 grams of protein. But to be on the safe side, it doesn't hurt to eat more than what I'm recommending. And if you guys need help tracking your protein and your macros, then subscribe to my email newsletter on Substack, where I give you a free meal plan template that you can edit, add your own dishes to it, and keep track of your protein, your other macros very easily. I know I said last week that I was only giving out that template for the first week, but screw it. Here you go. So now that we've covered what to do for body recomposition to work, what results can you get from it realistically? Well, take me, for example. When I started working out, I didn't want to go into a bulk because I was too afraid to get fatter, but I also didn't want to go into a cut because I like food too much. So for the first 2 years of training, I just ate at maintenance, and the results were pretty good. I went from a pudgy, not so muscular person to a less pudgy, more muscular person. By the way, these photos I'm posting right now, I share on my Discord server as well. So join my Discord server. We're gonna watch Demon Slayer today, so you should join. While my body does look different in each photo, believe it or not, my weight stayed more or less the same, hovering around 180 pounds. Yet over time, I found myself looking better, I was getting stronger, and more notably, I was getting leaner. Yet I didn't go into any calorie deficit, I didn't go into any bulk, but I managed to gain strength and lean myself out without cutting or bulking for the first 2 years of my calisthenics journey. When it comes to body recomposition, because your weight's not going to change that much, you need to pay attention to a lot more details than just reading a scale. You also should take before and after pictures so you can really analyze the details between what you look like months before and what you look like now. You also might want to measure your waist circumference, as naturally it's going to get smaller as you do body recomp, but overall body recomposition is just more difficult to measure. Another thing you have to understand when doing a body recomp is that you won't be gaining as much muscle as you would doing a traditional bulk, and you also won't be leaning out as fast as you would in a traditional cut. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. If you like to have steady progress and stay at a constant weight year round, then body recomposition is probably right for you. But in the end, you just need to do what's right for you, whether that's body recomposition, bulking, or cutting. Because body recomposition isn't a magical fitness hack. It's something that your body does all the time. It's just we have different ways to enhance the process and get the results we want. Keeping in mind that it all depends on our individual genetics and preferences. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to fitness, and there's no magic system that'll get you a dream physique instantly. Like, you're not Sung Jin Woo. You can't train like him. Or can you? Click right here to find out.